As the next generation begins to see aging-related care on the horizon, Keiro strives to provide innovative ways to support and guide individuals on this next phase of life. We gathered 4 adults from the baby boomer generation to ask how they view aging, with particular focus on their different approaches to preparing for their future care.
When I think of somebody who is old, I think of the word experienced.
Knowledge.
It's actually not in my vocabulary yet. The only time sometimes you wonder is when you wake up and you feel an ache that you didn't have the day before.
And I used to think it was a number, but that just flew out the window. Like, you know, I think when I was in my 20s, I thought, actually, what I'm at now, 60s, in my 60s, I used to think that was kind of an older age. And now that, you know, I think the closer you get to these numbers that you think about, you're like, no, what am I thinking?
Senior discounts? Were you thinking that?
You know, my mindset was, I'm retiring from this career, but I'm starting a new one.
Best thing I ever did was retire.
Losing your mobility or independence, that's huge. Like, and my hearing and my vision.
Oh, everything, yeah.
You know, that sort of thing.
I think losing the ability to drive is really big.
I know this is going to sound bad, but I have no concerns. I figure I'm going to deal with it whenever the issue is, as it comes up.
But do you talk, like when you gather with friends or family, do you talk about it?
No, because they understand, don't bring it up to Tim, don't bring it up to Tim.
You know, I respect what your feelings are, because there's a lot of people like that have feelings like you do too. But the one thing I tell them is just make sure everything's in place, like your trust. Right. You know, you have everything in place and you don't have to think about it.
You can't expect to have your body react the same as your 20-year-old self. Maybe you can't throw a ball as far or jump as high.
Or lose weight. When you get old, you can't lose weight.
The metabolism changes, your appetite changes. My appetite has changed.
I hope one of my cousins do, you know, but I don't expect it, you know, I'll find a way, you know, to take care of me.
Yeah, I think it's something that my husband and I do need to talk about, because it is us, and I think it's decisions that you kind of want to be able to make, you know, like who you want to either go somewhere to live and or have someone come in.
I find it hard to imagine that my 2 sons will take care of me. Right now, it's like I'm the only one who does stuff, so I'm going to take care of my husband.
But your sons might surprise you.
Yeah, they might.
My cousins told me they were surprised that I took on.
You know, I joke with my wife and the trustees of our trust, but I always tell them, when I tell you to take me to the edge of the cliff, you take me to the edge of the cliff. Because I'm never going to be a burden, right?
My family, we didn't really talk about it, even with my folks, till that time came. It's hard to talk about what planning to go with the next generation.
I did a pre-planned thing with Fukui Mortuary. Yeah, so I started taking little mini steps towards
have a living
that.
trust, not risk thing, and then everybody says, do you want to be buried? I says, you know, take my ashes, and if you want to flush it down the toilet, flush it down the toilet. I says, you know, we're going to scatter it somewhere, you know.
Well, if I'm still around, I'll make sure they do that then.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
if I'm still around.
Yeah, and I don't think I've talked to anybody about what aging, because I guess I don't expect my nieces to have to worry about me. And so I guess that conversation has never happened.
One of my neighbors' mother came home from the hospital, and the daughter was trying to get her into the house. And she was having all kinds of trouble, and I saw, and I got out and I told her, this is what you need to do. And she said, where did you learn this? I said, when your parents are old, you see, you watch and you learn how people pick them up, how they get them in. That's something that, you know, with experience, and you could pass it on to your friends and stuff.
I think the closest I got to talking to my son about the eventuality was I had my house painted last summer, and I just said, well, you know, when we're gone, you're going to have this house, so it's got to be in somewhat good shape so you could sell it or whatever. And he looked at me like, when you're gone, you know, like, where are you going? So, yeah, the conversation needs to be taken.
Yeah, even in a casual kind of a way.
Yeah.
You could, it doesn't have to be a concerted effort to sit down with your kids or your relatives, right? We do give hints of what we want to do. Our parents would never do that. But we tend to do that because we know what the consequences are if we don't.
I think the planning we've done is we've talked between ourselves, but I think we probably need to let someone else outside of the two of us know a little more about what our plans are.
This was a good experience.
It was a very good experience, I think.
We should have a reunion. Can we schedule a reunion already?